3 days after I moved in, my brother's heart stopped for no reason. The doctors couldn't explain it, but I could, because 72 hours earlier, I'd found a note in my new apartment that said, "Feed it every 3 days, or someone you love will die." I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. Welcome to Midnight Whispers. What you're about to hear is a story about deals we don't remember making, and prices we can't afford to pay. This is about the curse that lives in Apartment 4C, and why I can never leave. If you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications. You'll need to hear how this ends. Now, let's begin. My name is David. I'm 32 years old. I work in marketing. 6 months ago, I moved to Chicago for a promotion, senior account manager at a firm I'd been chasing for years. The apartment hunt was brutal. Chicago rent is insane, and everything in my price range was either a shoebox or in a terrible neighborhood. Then I found 4C. The building was old 1920s construction, they said, but the apartment itself was beautiful. Hardwood floors, high ceilings, big windows, and dirt cheap, almost suspiciously cheap. Why is the rent so low? I asked the landlord, a heavyset man named Mr. Kovic who spoke with a thick Eastern European accent. He shrugged. Previous tenant, he leave very suddenly. We need to fill it quick. How suddenly? One day he here, next day gone. Left everything. We donate most of it. You want apartment, or no? I took it. First month, last month, security deposit. Signed the lease that afternoon. Moving day was exhausting. I'd hired movers for the furniture, but I packed everything else myself. Boxes everywhere. I was unpacking kitchen supplies when I found it. Taped to the inside of the cabinet above the sink. A note. Handwritten on lined paper. The edges torn like it had been ripped from a spiral notebook. I almost laughed. Some kind of prank from the previous tenant, but I kept reading. If you're reading this, you live here now. That means it is your responsibility. I'm sorry. I tried to warn the landlord, but he won't listen. He thinks I'm crazy. Maybe I am, but you need to know the rules. Rule 1. Every 3 days. At exactly 11:47 p.m., you must make an offering. Leave it in the kitchen, on the counter, in front of the window. Rule 2. The offering must be something that matters to you. Not money, not food. Something with emotional weight. A photograph, a letter, a gift from someone you love. The more it means to you, the better. Rule 3. Do not look out the window while making the offering. Close your eyes. Count to 60. When you open them, the offering will be gone. If you're listening to this, help me prove something wrong. My mother said I wouldn't even reach 500 subscribers. Help me prove to her that these tales matter and are deserved to be heard. Now let's continue. Rule 4. If you miss a feeding, or if the offering doesn't have enough meaning, someone close to you will die within 72 hours. It starts with bad luck, small things, then it escalates. Rule 5. You can't leave. You can break the lease, move out, run to another city. It doesn't matter. Once you live here, IT is tied to you. The only way to pass it on is to find someone else to take your place. And even then you'll carry the guilt forever. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't keep feeding it. I couldn't keep sacrificing pieces of myself. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. Maybe dead. Maybe just gone. Good luck. You'll need it. I stared at the note for a long time. Then I crumpled it up and threw it in the trash. Obviously a prank. Some weirdo trying to freak out the next tenant. I'd heard about the previous guy. Mr. Kovic said he left suddenly. Probably had a breakdown. This note was evidence of that. I finished unpacking, ordered pizza, crashed on my new couch and watched Netflix until I fell asleep. Life was good. 3 days later, I'd completely forgotten about the note. Work was intense. New job, new team, trying to prove myself. I stayed late most nights, came home exhausted. The apartment was great. Quiet. Comfortable. On the third night, I got home around 10 p.m. Reheated leftovers. Took a shower. Went to bed around 11:30. I was almost asleep when I heard it. A sound. Faint. Coming from the kitchen. Scratching. Like nails on wood. Slow. Deliberate. I sat up. Listened. Scratch. 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 It stopped. I waited. Nothing. Probably a branch against the window, I thought. Or a rat in the walls. Old building. Old building problems. I went back to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls. All from my mom. My stomach dropped. I called her back immediately. David, oh thank God. It's your brother. He's in the hospital. My younger brother, Alex, 28, perfectly healthy. He'd collapsed at work yesterday afternoon. Just fell. No warning. No prior symptoms. They're running tests, Mom said, her voice shaking. They don't know what's wrong. His heart just stopped. For 40 seconds. They revived him, But David, they don't know why it happened. I felt cold. When did this happen? What time? Around p.m. yesterday. Why? 72 hours. 3 days since I moved in. 3 days since I'd read the note. 3 days since I was supposed to make the first offering. No, that was insane. Coincidence. Stress-induced cardiac event. Alex worked too hard, didn't sleep enough. But I went to the kitchen anyway. Pulled the crumpled note out of the trash. Read it again. If you miss a feeding, someone close to you will die within 72 hours. Alex collapsed 72 hours after I moved in. Exactly. I looked at the calendar. Today was day 4. The next feeding was due tonight, 11:47 p.m. I told myself I wouldn't do it. This was crazy, superstitious nonsense. But that night, at 11:45 p.m., I was standing in my kitchen. In my hand, a photograph, me and Alex, taken when we were kids. Our first fishing trip with Dad. One of my favorite memories. It mattered to me. I placed it on the counter in front of the window, closed my eyes, counted to 60. When I opened them, the photograph was gone. Alex recovered. 2 days later, Alex was released from the hospital. The doctors had no explanation. Spontaneous cardiac arrest, they called it. A fluke. 1 in a million. He was young and healthy, it shouldn't have happened. But he was fine now. Completely fine. I wanted to believe it was coincidence, but I couldn't. Because 3 days later, I made another offering. This time, a watch my dad gave me when I graduated college. I placed it on the counter, closed my eyes, counted, gone, and nothing bad happened. No one got hurt, no accidents, no hospital calls. The pattern continued. Every 3 days, 11:47 p.m., an offering, a letter from my ex-girlfriend, a bracelet my mom gave me, a signed book from my favorite author, a ticket stub from the first concert I ever went to. Each time, I felt a piece of myself disappear with it. But life was good, work was going great. I got a promotion within 2 months unheard of. I met someone, a woman named Claire. We hit it off immediately, started dating. My bank account was healthier than it had ever been. Unexpected bonus, freelance gig on the side that paid absurdly well. Everything I touched turned to gold, just like the note said. The previous tenant wanted success, and he got it. Until the price became too high. The first missed feeding. It happened on week 8. Claire had planned a surprise weekend trip, a cabin upstate. No cell service, just us, she said. Unplug, relax. I said yes. We left Friday afternoon. The feeding was due Saturday night at 11:47 p.m. I didn't realize until we were already 2 hours away. We need to go back. What? Why? I forgot something important. At the apartment. Can't it wait until Sunday? I couldn't tell her. Couldn't explain. She'd think I was insane. It's fine, I lied. Never mind. Saturday night, 11:47 p.m. I was in a cabin 200 miles away. I didn't make the offering. 72 hours. Sunday was fine. We hiked, had a picnic. Claire was happy. I couldn't relax. We drove back Sunday evening. I got home around 9 p.m. The apartment felt wrong. Colder. The air thick, like something was waiting. I checked my phone obsessively, waiting for the call, the text, the bad news. Monday morning, nothing. Monday afternoon, nothing. Monday evening, 6 p.m. 72 hours exactly since the misfeeding, my phone rang. Claire, hey, are you? David. Her voice was shaking. There's been an accident. My blood turned to ice. What happened? Are you okay? I'm fine, but a car ran a red light. Hit me from the side. I'm okay, just shaken up, but David. If I'd been 2 seconds faster through that intersection, she would have been dead. Exactly 72 hours. It didn't take someone I'd known forever. It went after someone I cared about now. I had to know what this was. I googled the building's address. The previous tenant's name, Daniel Frost. Found an article from 6 months ago. Local man missing after apartment breakdown. Daniel Frost, 34, was reported missing by his employer after failing to show up for work for 2 weeks. Friends say he'd become increasingly erratic, paranoid, claiming something was taking pieces of him. His apartment was found empty, belongings abandoned. Police have no leads. I kept digging, found his LinkedIn, his Facebook. 2 years ago, his posts were normal, happy, excited about a new job, promotion, engagement. Then, slowly, things changed. Posts about exhaustion, stress, losing things. The engagement ended. She said I've changed, that I'm not the same person. Maybe she's right. His last post, 3 days before he disappeared. I can't do this anymore. Every 3 days, I lose another piece. Photos, gifts, memories. I'm running out of things that matter. What happens when there's nothing left to give? What happens when I've got nothing left? He'd been feeding it for 2 years, and then he just vanished. I found his family's Facebook page. His mother still posted about him. Please come home. We love you. We just want to know you're safe. He was never coming home, because whatever this thing was, it had taken everything from him. And now it was taking everything from me. 6 months in, I was running out of things to give. I'd sacrificed every meaningful object I owned. Childhood toys, family heirlooms, gifts from friends, my college diploma, my dad's dog tags from the military, the blanket my grandmother knitted before she died. Gone. All of it. Fed to something I couldn't see, couldn't understand. And the worst part, my life kept getting better. Another promotion. Claire and I moved in together. My bank account had 6 figures. Wait, we moved in together. I didn't live in Forsea anymore. I'd left. Moved to Claire's place across town. For 2 weeks, I hadn't been back to Forsea, hadn't made an offering, and nothing bad had happened. Maybe it was over. Maybe leaving the apartment broke the curse. I almost believed it. 72 hours. On day 3, Claire collapsed in the shower. Seizure. Out of nowhere. She'd never had one before in her life. Rushed to the stabilized, but the doctors were baffled. No prior history. No neurological issues. We'll run tests, but it's highly unusual. 72 hours since I'd missed the feeding. It didn't matter that I'd left the apartment. Rule 5. You can't leave. Once you live here, IT is tied to you. I drove back to Forsea that night. Unlocked the door with the key. I'd never returned to Mr. Kovic. The apartment was empty. I'd taken my furniture when I left. Just bare walls now. But it was still here. Still waiting. I had nothing left to give. No photographs. No heirlooms. No gifts. So I gave it something else. Claire had given me this watch for our 6-month anniversary. So you'll always think of me when you check the time, she'd said. It was the last thing I had that mattered. I placed it on the counter, closed my eyes, counted to 60. When I opened them, the watch was gone. And I felt something break inside me. I couldn't do this anymore. 2 years. That's how long Daniel lasted. I was only 6 months in, and I was already empty. I went back to the apartment the next night, not to make an offering, to confront it. What are you? I screamed into the empty room. Silence. Show yourself. Nothing. I went to the window, the one where I'd left every offering. For the first time, I looked outside during the feeding time. Rule 3. Do not look out the window. I didn't care anymore. I looked, and I saw it. Not a creature, not a demon. A person, wearing my face. It was me, or what I was becoming. Every offering I made, every piece of myself I gave away. It was feeding this thing, building it, making it more real. And when there was nothing left of me to give, it would take my place. That's what happened to Daniel. He didn't disappear. He was replaced. And somewhere, the real Daniel was gone, erased. Nothing left. I staggered back from the window. The thing below smiled, waved, then walked away into the shadows. I researched for weeks. Curses, deals, doppelgangers, entities that feed on identity. Found stories similar to mine. People who made deals for success, wealth, love. All of them paid with pieces of themselves. And all of them ended the same way. Either they were replaced, or they passed the curse to someone else. Rule 5. The only way to pass it on is to find someone else to take your place. I had to get someone to move into Forsea. Someone who would find the note, make the first offering, bind themselves to it, and then it would let me go. But that meant condemning someone else, sentencing them to the same hell I'd been living. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't. So I searched for another way. I found one mention in an old forum post from 2009. A user claimed they'd broken a similar curse. You have to give it what it really wants. Not objects, not memories, yourself, completely, willingly. And then you take it back. It was risky, vague, possibly bullshit, but it was all I had. I went back to Forsea on a Saturday night. Claire thought I was visiting my mom. I brought nothing, just myself. 11:47 p.m. I stood in front of the window. You want me? Fine. Take me. All of me. My first day of school. My father's laugh. The smell of my grandmother's cooking. The first time I fell in love. The heartbreak that followed. The moment I got my first job. Claire's smile. Alex's stupid jokes. My mom's voice saying I'm proud of you. I gave it all away. Felt it drain out of me like water through a sieve. And when there was nothing left. When I was hollow, empty, erased, I opened my eyes. The doppelganger was standing in front of me. Inside the apartment now. It looked exactly like me. Perfect copy. But its eyes were empty. Thank you, it said. My voice. My cadence. Now I'm complete. And then I did the only thing I could. I took it back. I grabbed myself and I pulled. It screamed, not with my voice, with something else. Something ancient and furious. I pulled harder, felt every memory, every piece of myself that I'd given away, flowing back. But it wasn't clean. It wasn't whole. Everything came back wrong, corrupted. My father's laugh sounded like screaming. My grandmother's kitchen smelled like rot. Claire's smile had too many teeth. I didn't care. I pulled until there was nothing left of it, until the thing wearing my face crumbled to ash. I collapsed. When I looked up, the apartment was different, darker, colder, and I realized I'd won, but I'd paid the price. I left for sea that night, never went back. Claire was waiting for me at home. "How's your mom?" she asked. I looked at her and felt nothing. Not love, not warmth, not even recognition. I knew who she was. I remembered her name, our history, every moment we'd shared, but I didn't feel it anymore. "She's fine," I said. Claire didn't notice, not at first, but over the next few weeks, she started to realize something was wrong. "You've been distant," she said one night. "I'm just tired. Work's been crazy." "It's not just that. It's like you're here, but you're not really here." You know, she was right. I'd gotten everything back, every memory, every piece of my identity, but the feelings were gone. The love, the joy, the pain, the fear, all of it burned away. I could remember loving Claire, but I couldn't feel it anymore. I visited my mom, hugged her, said the right things, but when she cried tears of joy at seeing me, I felt nothing. Alex told me a joke. I laughed, but it was mechanical, hollow. I went through the motions of being human, but I wasn't, not really, not anymore. Claire left me. "I can't do this anymore," she said, tears streaming down her face. "It's like you died and someone else is walking around in your body." She was right. I didn't fight it, didn't beg her to stay. I couldn't summon the emotion. I lived alone now, in a different apartment, far from Foresee. I still had my job, my success, my money. Everything the curse had promised me, I kept, but I'd paid for it with the only thing that mattered, my humanity. Last week, I got a call from Mr. Kovic. "Mr. Hayes, I have question. You lived in Foresee?" "Yes." "Yeah. Why?" "We have new tenant moving in next week." Very excited, but I find something strange when we clean apartment. My stomach should have dropped, but it didn't. I felt nothing. There is note, taped in kitchen cabinet. Handwriting looks fresh. "You know anything about this?" I closed my eyes. No, I'd destroyed it. I'd broken the curse. "What does it say?" "It says instructions for the apartment. Very strange. Talks about feeding something." "You know about this?" The curse hadn't ended. It had just reset. Someone else would move in, find the note, make the first offering, and the cycle would continue. No, I lied. No idea. Probably just a prank from the previous tenant. "Ah, okay. I throw away then." "Thank you, Mr. Hayes." He hung up. I sat there for a long time. I should call him back, warn him, tell him to burn the note, to never let anyone move into that apartment, but I didn't. Because the truth is, part of me hoped someone else would take it, would feed it, would bind themselves to it, because maybe, just maybe, if someone else was feeding it, it would leave me alone, and I could feel something again, even if it was guilt. If you've just moved into a new apartment, and you find a note somewhere unexpected, with instructions that seem strange, impossible, insane, don't throw it away. Don't ignore it, because the previous tenant left it for a reason. They were trying to warn you, but by the time you're reading it, it's already too late. You're bound, and every 3 days, at 11:47 p.m., you'll stand in front of that window, and you'll feed it, until there's nothing left of you to give. The apartment is always waiting. The curse is always hungry, and there's always someone desperate enough for success to pay the price. Sweet dreams in your new home.